Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Naistiki Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare जय श्रीमद् भगवद गीता जी की जय ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय श्री चैतन्य चरितामृत की जय हरे कृष्णा श्रीला गुरुदेव की जय श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय हरि बोल now thank you very much welcome everyone just wanted to welcome some other okay someone who joined us new I can see there's one Dr. Venugopal Hare Krishna
Hare
can you
Krishna.
hear us? Hare Krishna. Yes, my name is Ambarish Das. Hare Krishna. Welcome. Hare Bol, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear.
Okay, Hare Krishna. So where are you joining us from, Venugopalji?
Hyderabad.
From Hyderabad.
From Hyderabad.
Okay, very nice. Is it first time you joined us? I think I've seen you once before as well, but I don't know if you had the whole session with us.
I think first time never.
First time. Okay. Okay, welcome. Hare Krishna.
Hare.
Okay, Hari Bol, dear devotees. So now last 2 weeks we had a debate, yeah? We had debate on the points where to and against we saw about material education, the university degrees, are how much benefited or not beneficial, yeah, for us. Now, I know we have not spoken about this. I have not asked you to make notes, but I'm just checking if anybody wants anything stood out for you in the discussion, which you would use it in your debates, or in case any you have to talk about Krishna or people challenge you. Just if you're not everybody, yeah, if you made some notes, if you think, only then let us know, please. Or if you feel like, it'll be very nice to hear.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you so much for arranging these classes. Um, the point that stood out the most of like one of the points that I remember that stood out the most for me was the point that uh, the person who's learning and who's like getting educated, they are working for somebody probably who's not very educated in that way, and we've unnecessarily created that bubble where we feel that we need to have these high degrees in order to make money and everything. But that is not needed. That's one of the points that I remember you saying a lot of the times that that person is working for somebody who's not probably that educated because it's not really needed. You just need to know how to use that resource. Um, I think that's one of the points that I remember quite prominently. Yes, Ravaji. Yeah.
Hare Krishna. Otherwise, the person who owns the business should always be most qualified than people who are running the business, right? Just 2 cents worth. I'm not owning anything, but yes. Thank you, Hare Krishna. Yes. Anybody else? Which you will use? Yeah.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you Prabhuji for giving me this chance to share my realization of debate. I have noted down so many points about that debate, and the points which I want to share is there were a lot of questions which were asked in the debate. Why you have come to life, and you like Mataji noted some of the points, and I have noted down those as well. So there was one of the point which I mentioned was experience. Like if we have experience, then Mataji also mentioned about cause of death. Do we need to experience this? And then we also discussed, did you know when you were born you look ugly or you look good, do you know about this? How do you know that you will be born ugly or you'll be born good? Then in this 21 years of your age, do you know about the idea you took to learn about good about God consciousness? You took almost 21 years in order to learn about Krishna consciousness. Then there was one of the point that engineers are paid by someone, and some people are not fully illiterate. We discussed that point as well, that most of the people are Avinash Roji mentioned about that the people which we were discussing about who are selling pani puri, they are not fully illiterate, but they were literate at some point. And then you explain that if they are literate, then why like there were a lot of discussions which happened at that point as well. And then we discussed that material education is an impediment. You have to forget first to learn new. Then we are dependent on Krishna, and Krishna takes care of everything. So why we want to there was one of the point we discussed, that why we uh, I remember that we discussed about that we should be independent. We always think that we are independent, but when then we should be dependent on Krishna, and Krishna takes care of everything. So why we are fearful, and why we think that only material education can lead us to run the business or to gain money. So that was one of the point. Then education, how it teaches me not to be created, and elders are help us me not to be cheated. So Mataji also mentioned this point, that most of the devotees, they mentioned that education teaches us me not to be created. And then she also cleared that elders has helped me not to be cheated. But why this education, like Deepak Prabhu mentioned this point, that education has helped me to improve my skill set, and it also improves me how to deal with the people and how not to be cheated. But then there was a point that elders has helped me not to be cheated. So where is the point about education here? Then there was point when we can relate more when we see same skill as ours. Yes, there was one thing when we discussed that we relate more to the people who have same skill set. So we were engineers and we were discussing about uh, we were more relateful, but people can relate with your experiences. And then you shared that if you share your experience with somebody, like what you have felt and how you have experienced it, then that can also be relatable. It's not about the education which can be only relatable. And people are attracted by Srila Prabhupada's purity and his message. So if you share your experiences, then people can relate most. Then IIT graduate came up, and IIT graduate, there was one of the discussion which where you mentioned that there was one of the IIT graduate, and that person came into spirituality. How he moved everything, like he was an IIT graduate and he left IIT and everything. This job, his well settled job, he was there in Kumbh Mela, and then he came to spirituality. That was an example you shared. And when you are born to do you know who your parents are? You or you will only be able to know about your touch of your mother, because you will not be able to you don't know, like you also mentioned this point that you are born to do you know that you who were your parents? You will only know by the touch of your mother. So this was one of the point. And then you mentioned that you walk like a lion, but don't be a sheep. And yes, then you mentioned that mother introduces your father. So education teaches you to do this. Like, how do you know that who are your parents? And you mentioned that you only how this education is helping us to know about your parents. Yes, then you mentioned that I also mentioned about this. Most of the devotees also mentioned that education has helped them to take care of your family. Then you mentioned this point about like how education has treated you, like how education has helped you to introduce your parent. So that was a counter question. Then there was one of the point, knife in the hand of killer. Know how to use a knife. Like there was you gave an example of surgeon and a person who is a killer. So if a person who is a killer, if he is having knife in his hand, then the and a surgeon who know how to use a knife. A killer will only kill with the help of a knife, but a surgeon will know how to use that knife by curing someone. So this is education, where you mentioned at the end of the class that this is education. And then earning money is very easy. Money is flying everywhere. This was also the point where Srila Prabhupada mentioned that money is flying everywhere. So earning money is very easy. So you don't need education for it, but only at certain there should be a certain time where education can help you, but that can also be taken with the help of Krishna consciousness. And money should come for Krishna's food, not for mine. That was also the point which we discussed in our family. Me and Pradyum were discussing that uh, money should not be like, it should not be only for our sense gratification, but it will help us to have food in the family, and we shall have a prasadam and then eat that prasadam and be happy. That's it. So those were the points which I have noted down, Roji. That's it.
Yeah, notice. So you're going to speak, use all these points in your debates, right, with everybody. Very good. Thank you very much, Mother. Hare Krishna. Very nice.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Srishti Mataji, for sharing all these points. It was really lovely. 2 points that I also remembered after hearing it from her. One of the points was that a lot of the times our argument used to be that, education has given us the critical thinking and the logical thinking to kind of understand Krishna consciousness. And your rebuttal to that was simply that good, that it took you 22 years to develop critical thinking skills. It doesn't take everyone that, but if you took you, it's okay. So I think that's a very smart rebuttal to that point. And the last question that you asked us when we were in the reverse roles, you told us that why don't you give up your degree? If you think that education is a obstacle, why don't you give up your degree? And your answer to that was was very grounded in the sense that you said that would you listen to me um, if I was not living in this way and earning this much, and would your parents allow you to come to this class and listen to me if you were not this way? So that's why, and that made a lot of sense, really, that it's only for kind of having that credibility or whatever we call it. But yeah, I think those two were really really impactful points, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. You can use them if you want to, at your own risk.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji, for uh, allowing me to share my thoughts about the previous debate we had. Thank you, Shushti Mataji and Divyanshi Mataji, for their wonderful realization. Prabhuji, one point that stood for me was the point which was shared by, I think, Divyanshi Mataji, that even if we say about, even if we agree that formal education is not that important, but are we going to follow this? I mean, after the debate also, if I agree that only skill set makes sense, um, then do I will going to follow this for rest of my life? And if I want to have a formal education, do I not going to take it? So that was the point which was triggering for me, and made a lot of sense that for practically implementing all this idea is a different ball game altogether. Then the point that you mentioned after this question, that for that credibility sake, we do need a formal degree. I mean, uh, people will not going to listen to if I would not be a formally educated or having some degree or credibility in society. So for that matter, we need a formal education. Of course, skill set. That's the point that's still going in my head. That, oh my God, I don't need formal education. So that was the point that's still going on in my head. Like practically implementing, it's a different thing altogether.
All the best. All the best. Thank you. Hare Krishna. We want all educated people to be, all of you to be very educated, highly educated. You're doing PhD, it's very good. Please do PhD. Do something more also after that, if there's anything more than PhD. Very nice. Hare Krishna. Okay, we'll wait. We'll take one more if there's any more. Anything which you're going to use, pick up and use. Okay, thank you very much. Krishnadas, can you please share the screen? And we'll start with our reading. Okay, now we would like to have a volunteer for reading. Who would like to volunteer, please? Yes. Thank you. The Divanshi Mataji would like to show. Okay, please feel free.
Yes, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Uh, Presently, many people are interested in receiving degrees from big universities, but education without God consciousness is simply an expansion of Maya's influence. Because knowledge is taken away by illusion, the universities are simply presenting impediments on the path of God consciousness. The living entity is already illusioned when he comes into the material world, and so called advanced education simply increases his illusion. Trying to become happy in this temporary material life, the living entity has forgotten that he is the eternal servant of Krishna. Even if one becomes happy in this temporary life, his happiness is an illusion because no one is allowed to stay and enjoy his happiness. These points have to be understood in the association of devotees. A devotee knows everything because he has seen the supreme absolute truth, Krishna. What is the goal of Vedanta Darshan? Ved means knowledge and Ant means ultimate. What is the ultimate knowledge? In Bhagavad Gita, chapter 15, verse 15, Shri Krishna says, Vedascha sarver ahameva vedyo Vedanta krid veda vid eva chaham. By all the Vedas, I am to be known. Indeed, I am the compiler of Vedanta, and I am the knower of the Vedas. If we listen to Krishna and understand what and who he is, we can actually understand Vedanta. If we do not understand Krishna but advertise ourselves as Vedantists, we are just being illusioned. Without understanding Krishna, one is actually a mood, a fool. People do not know it, but actually anyone in the material world is more or less a mood. We are all moodhas. For unless we are moodhas, we do not come into the material world. From Brahma down to the smallest ant, we are all moodhas of different degrees. In order to become really learned, we have to associate with devotees. Then we can actually relish Krishna Katha. When discussed among devotees, Krishna Katha is pleasing to the heart and ear. This requires a
Point.
little training.
Here's the point. Because we are devotees talking about Krishna, debating about this, a non-devotee will not understand, will not appreciate this. Even our debates. So this debates and all is done after they are making devotees, about Krishna. So we should be very careful as to when we open our mouth against whom we speak big philosophy or small philosophy. Yes, yes. Please, that's why it's, amongst devotees it's very relishable when you hear. It's not an echo chamber. That's why we see from all the angles the debates. We saw from this angle also and that angle also. Echo chamber means all agree to the same point. That is not the case. Yeah, please continue. Thank you.
When discussed among devotees, Krishna Katha is pleasing to the heart and ear. This requires a little training, and this training is given by the devotees. We should follow the devotees in their practical daily life, in their routine work and behavior. Cultivation means practice, and the great acharyas have given a routine we can cultivate. For instance, the Nectar of Devotion by Srila Rupa Goswami deals with the cultivation of devotional service, and this book, which we have translated, has been very well received in European and American universities. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, the Nectar of Devotion, is the actual science of bhakti. Bhakti is not that we have to wait for another life to cultivate devotional service. Sorry, bhakti is not sentiment. It is a great science, and we have to learn it scientifically. It is not that we have to wait for another life to cultivate devotional service. We can read the
So
Nectar of
cultivate.
Devotion.
So many times Prabhupada wrote the word cultivate devotional service. Have you noted this point? Cultivate. Yes, so many times cultivation. Perform devotional service is could be written as well. Do devotional service could be written as well. But the word used is cultivate. Now, what is the meaning of cultivation? What do we normally use cultivate word for?
For farming, for like,
That's right. That's right. So why is the word cultivate used here in bhakti? Cultivate bhakti, cultivate devotional service. Why do we say this?
mm, because it's done kind of very carefully. You sow the seed and then you take a lot of care of it and then you
Yes,
make it
that's
grow
correct. This is
slowly.
the answer. Just like a farmer, before he sows the seed, he makes sure that the land is nicely fertile, and then it is nicely watered, moistened. Then he sows the seed, then takes care of the seed very nicely. Then fertilizer is put and all this put. And when the seed is growing slowly, there is protection from sun, wind, winter, all those things. And till the time it is growing very, very big, then making sure that no other animals come. After it is growing nicely, the creeper, there was an elephant will come in and destroy the whole garden. Everything is destroyed. So all of you, I'm telling you, will not realize how your leaders, tutors, and all of us, they spend time to make sure that your cultivated bhakti is not disturbed. What to do, what not to do. That's why I say don't do it this, don't do that. We can say that way, no? But physically also, don't go there. Be it make your home into temple, study books, chant around, all these things. So very, very important. It'll come through experience. Gardening you can learn by studying also, by books. But best gardeners are books, yes, but the practical gardeners. They know this season is going to happen, so I must do this. Then I must do that. Now is the time. All these things. See? So practically, when you implement this, that is when you understand how much protection is needed, when what is to be done. Yeah, that's why the word cultivation. So you are correct, Mother. From the seed, it has to grow. Bhakti is the same, and the same is called Bhakti Lata Bij. And then this Bhakti Lata Bij, the seed, creeper of devotion, will cut through. As we showed you about the material universe. It goes up from Bhurloka to Brahmaloka, Satyaloka. It breaks open from there. It goes to the material universe, material coverings. Okay, seven earth, water, fire, ether. Each of them are 10 times bigger. The reverse order. It breaks through that and goes to the void. From there, it enters to the Brahmajyoti. It cuts through that, goes to Vaikuntha. And we have to go beyond Vaikuntha to Goloka. Because Vaikuntha itself is great, spiritual world. But our aim is to be with Krishna as Shama Sundar, the cowherd boy, village themselves, the gopis, and serve with them as their servants. So where have we to go? Where is the time? The problem is we think we have got time. That is our problem. Yes, please continue. Is this clear? Anybody wants to say anything? Just wait for 10 seconds. The responses are clear. So Mataji correctly answered the question. Any questions? What we discussed on this? No? Okay, let's continue then. Thank you.
We can read the nectar of devotion, live with devotees, rise early in the morning to attend Mangala Aarti, study Vedic literature, take prasad, and preach Krishna consciousness. Maya is very strong, and to begin devotional service is to declare war against Maya. Some of the devotees in this Krishna consciousness movement may fall down, but whatever is done sincerely is to their permanent credit. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. If one renders a little devotional service, he does not fall down into the lower species, but again attains a human form. There are 8,400,000 species, but the fallen devotee is guaranteed a human life. If one becomes Krishna conscious, he is assured of a good birth in the next life. However, if one completes his Krishna consciousness in this life, he will not take birth again, but will go to Krishna. This is what is actually wanted. Why take the chance of being born into a rich family or a Brahman family? Actually, such a birth is quite risky because there is really no guarantee. Generally, those who are rich don't care at all for Krishna consciousness. And those who are born in Brahman families generally become puffed up, thinking, I am a Brahman, I am born in a very high family. Thinking this brings about their fall down. It is said that pride precedes a fall. A Vaishnav is by nature very humble. These are the chances one takes when one becomes a human being. Krishna is personally advising us to take up the opportunities offered by the Krishna consciousness movement. We should take them and not run the risk of committing spiritual suicide. This is the process for understanding the absolute truth, the supreme person, the supreme being. In the absolute, there are no contradictions. Krishna's name, form, activities, paraphernalia, and attributes are identical with Krishna. This is the meaning of absolute. There is no difference between Krishna's form and Krishna. Krishna's hands and Krishna's legs are non-different. In the material world, there is a difference between our left hand and our right hand, between the nose and the ear. But these dualities do not exist in Krishna. This is the meaning of absolute. As stated in Brahma Samhita, chapter 5, verse 32. Mm, uh, uh, Angani yasya sakalendriyavrittimanti पश्यन्ति पान्ति कलयन्ति चिरं जगन्ति आनन्दचिन्मयसदुज्ज्वलविग्रहस्य गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं bhajami. I worship Govind, the primeval Lord, whose transcendental form is full of bliss, truth, and substantiality, and is thus full of the most dazzling splendor. Each of the limbs of that transcendental figure each of the limbs of that transcendental figure possesses in himself the full-fledged functions of all the organs and eternally sees, maintains, and manifests the finite universes, both spiritual and mundane. The infinite universes, both spiritual and mundane. The different parts of our bodies serve different purposes, but any limb of Krishna's body can serve any purpose. Krishna can eat through his eyes or Krishna can go somewhere simply by thinking. The absolute is Advait. There is no duality in the absolute. Everything is one.
See, Krishna's any limbs can do the other's work. He can eat with his eyes. Now, do you know we also eat with our eyes? How many of you know we eat with our eyes? Raise your hands. And our noses. We eat with our eyes and noses. You don't believe me? Ask Google. They said the taste, while you taste the food, the nose plays a very important role. To smell with the taste. With the eyes, you see first. You hoggle into, oh my God, it's nice. Food is here. Now I'm going to eat it. Yeah. If it is put up very nicely, decorated nicely, you want to eat it. Is it not so? That is, when we offer bhoga to Krishna, nobody else should watch the bhoga to Krishna. It has to be covered. The plate has to be covered. Only the pujari who's cooking should not say, I'm cooking this today, that today. No. That's not how you must mention to even family members. You cook. The cook cooks in the house and covers the plate, or if not covered, at least nobody should know. And take the plate, offer to Krishna. When it's there, people should not see, hey, what has been cooked? No, don't do such things. Krishna is honoring prasadam, bhoga, let him have it. If you cannot cover the place, nobody should go there. And after it's done, then take the plate back. Then mix it, then others can have it. But this is an etiquette. Because we're looking at it also, we contaminate things. Oh, looks very nice. Gulab jamun made for Krishna. Looks very good. Are man, let him eat. Why are you being hoggling like this? It's not made for you. So cook should not even say this, what you're going to cook. So you'll know what I cooked today. See? That's how it is. Otherwise, I feel like eating gulab jamun. Let's make gulab jamun today and offer to Krishna. Let's start with it, but that's not the end result. Okay? All right? These are some points. Please be careful. Thank you. Please continue.
Our material disease lies in wanting to satisfy our senses. We have stated before that advancement of civilization means advancement of sense gratification. But bhakti means just the opposite. As long as we are interested in sense gratification, there is no question of bhakti. We have to reduce our tendency for sense gratification and increase our devotional activities. We have also stated that material bondage means accepting one body and creating another. Krishna, through nature, will give us full facility to enjoy our senses. Presently, in the Western countries, it has become fashionable to run around naked. Therefore, nature will give these people an opportunity to stand naked like trees for many years. Why are we
Yeah, that's
receiving
it. So if
different?
anybody wants you to become naked in public, this is what is going to happen to you. Become tree, not cover yourself. Hare Krishna. Let's please continue.
Why are we receiving different bodies? Because we have different tendencies for sense gratification. We actually have to come to detest sense gratification before our spiritual life begins. This is made possible through bhakti. Although Krishna is beyond our vision, he has agreed to be seen by us through the Archa Vigraha, the deity. We should not think that the deity is made of stone. Even if it is stone, we should think that Krishna has made himself visible before us like a stone because we cannot see beyond stone. That is Krishna's mercy. Because our eyes and other senses are imperfect. We cannot see Krishna present everywhere in his original spiritual form.
Okay, again, please read these points again. Just you have to go through
Um,
many sentences. The Prabhupada is
okay.
talking about this point about the deity, Archa Vigraha, the deity form is Krishna, or it's not stone.
Although, yeah. Um, although Krishna is beyond our vision, he has agreed to be seen by us through the Archa Vigraha, the deity. We should not think that the deity is made of stone. Even if it is stone, we should think that Krishna has made himself visible before us like a stone because we cannot see beyond stone. That is Krishna's mercy. because our eyes and other senses are imperfect. We cannot see Krishna present everywhere. Um, sorry, yes, sorry, Vijay. Um, even if it is stone, we should think that Krishna has made himself visible before us like a stone because we cannot see beyond stone. That is Krishna's mercy. Because our eyes and other senses are imperfect, we cannot see Krishna present everywhere in his original spiritual form. Because we are imperfect, we see the difference between things spiritual and material. But Krishna, being absolute, knows no such distinctions. He can become spiritual or material, however he likes, and it does not make any difference to him. Being almighty and omnipotent, Krishna can change matter into spirit and spirit into matter. Therefore, we should not think, as the atheists do, that we are worshipping idols. Even if it is an idol, it is still Krishna. That is the absolute nature of Krishna.
Yeah,
Even
beautiful.
if we,
Krishna can be transferring into spiritual and material anytime. He can do so for our benefit. But it's very difficult to explain to the atheists this point, you know. So in a common setting, we may say this. This for our understanding as devotees, you know. We'll say this. Very nice. Please continue.
even if we think that the deity is a stone or a piece of metal or some wood, he is still Krishna. The understanding of this requires bhakti on our part. If we are a little thoughtful and philosophical, and if we are at all inclined towards bhakti, we can understand that Krishna is present in stone. Actually, nothing is different from Krishna because everything is Krishna's energy. The Mayavadi philosophers say that since everything is God, the personality of Krishna is finished. But actually, Krishna is Krishna, and at the same time, he is everything. We can understand this by bhakti, but not by any other process. When a bhakt sees a tree, he sees Krishna. As explained in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela, chapter 8, verse 274. Um, स्थावर जंगम देखे ना देखे तार मूर्ति सर्वत्र हया निज इष्ट देव स्फूर्ति. The advanced devotee does not see living entities as moving and not moving. He sees Krishna. This is also stated in Brahma Samhita, chapter 5, verse 38. Prabhuji, is there a lot of noise in the background?
No. You're all good.
Okay. Uh, Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena Santah Sadaiva Hridayeshu Vilokayanti. Because his eyes are always smeared with the ointment of devotion, the devotee always sees Krishna and nothing else. He sees Krishna and Krishna's energy everywhere. For instance, if you love your child, when you see your child's shoe, you immediately see your child. Or if you see your child's toy, you immediately see your child and hear his
How
voice.
beautiful is it, not so? How beautiful an analogy is this? How wonderful. Again, just because his eyes are always smeared with ointment of devotion.
Because his eyes are always smeared with the ointment of devotion, the devotee always sees Krishna and nothing else. He sees Krishna and Krishna's energy everywhere. For instance, if you love your child, when you see your child's shoe, you immediately see your child. Or if you see your child's toy, you immediately see your child and hear his voice. Similarly, if we have actually developed love of Krishna, nothing exists but Krishna. When our love for Krishna is actually developed, whatever we see, we will see Krishna. Unless one is advanced in Krishna Prem, love of Krishna, he cannot see or understand. By the blunt material senses, we cannot even understand the name of Krishna. People are always asking, why are these people chanting Hare Krishna? They cannot understand. Although Krishna realization begins with the name of Krishna and Krishna are non-different. But we cannot realize this intellectually. We have to practice chanting Hare Krishna to realize it. When we actually advance in devotional service and chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra offenselessly, we will realize that Krishna and his name are non-different. Thus, Krishna Bhakti begins with the tongue, for we can utilize the tongue to chant and to taste Krishna Prasad. In this way, we can become a Krishna Bhakt. When we see the deity of Krishna in the temple, we should think that the deity is Krishna. In this way, Krishna has agreed to be seen by us and even dressed by us. However, if we think of Krishna as Virat Roop, his universal form, what can we do? How can we dress the Virat Roop? His many heads cover the sky, and we cannot even conceive of him. Krishna can become bigger than the biggest and smaller than the smallest.
This is
Therefore,
where
this
in
verse,
the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, actually, the Virat Roop is mentioned of Krishna, universal form. And Arjuna becomes very perturbed seeing the universal form. So we cannot dress a universal form, but a personal form we can see, we can dress. That's how it is. Yes.
Bacha, can you give me 2 minutes? Yeah, I'm coming. I'm coming. Close the door,
Okay.
Veer.
You have to go. If you have to go, just let
No,
us
no, no,
know.
no.
No, no problem. That's okay. That's okay.
I'm sorry. I'm
If you have
sorry.
to
I'm
go,
sorry.
you
I thought
can
I'll
go.
come here. Yeah, my nephews are storming the room. That's why
Okay, that's
I
okay.
can stay. I can stay. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Sorry. Yes, you were saying, Vijay.
No, no, you continue. Therefore,
Therefore, this verse states, "Bhaktya puman jat virag endriyat." The more we serve Krishna, give him things to eat, and dress him nicely, the less we become interested in our own bodies. In the material world, everyone is very busy, dressing himself very nicely in order to be sexually attractive. But if we try to dress Krishna nicely,
wearing less and less dress, especially for women. So you wear less and less dress, you look very beautiful, and that you are very bold now. You're equal because equal to men. Yeah, you're equal to men. How foolish it is. Yes, continue. Don't get me started there. Please continue. Let's proper speaking.
this in the material world, everyone is very busy dressing himself very nicely in order to be sexually attractive. But if we try to dress Krishna nicely, we will forget our own material dress. If we feed Krishna nice food, we will forget to satisfy our own tongue by going to this or that restaurant. Krishna was teaching Bhagavad Gita, and Arjun was seeing him face to face. But seeing Krishna and reading Bhagavad Gita are the same. Some people say that Arjun was unfortunate to have seen Krishna face to face and take instructions.
Fortunate.
Fortune, sorry. Um, some people say that Arjun was fortunate to have seen Krishna face to face and take instructions from him. But Krishna can be seen immediately, provided one has the eyes to see. There is the example in Chaitanya Charitamrita of a Brahman in South India who was reading Bhagavad Gita, although he was illiterate. The people in the neighborhood knew that he was illiterate, and they made jokes, asking him, "Well, how is it you are reading Bhagavad Gita?" One day, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu happened to be in a temple nearby, and he could understand that this man was a devotee. He therefore approached him and asked, "My dear Brahman, what are you reading?" The Brahman replied, "I'm reading Bhagavad Gita, or rather, I am trying to read Bhagavad Gita. I happen to be illiterate, but my Guru Maharaj has said that I must read the 18 chapters of Bhagavad Gita daily. I'm simply trying to carry out his order, and therefore I'm opening and closing the pages." Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then said, "I see that you are crying sometimes. Why is this?" The Brahman replied, "Yes, I'm crying because when I take up this book, I see a picture of Krishna driving Arjun's chariot. Sri Krishna is so kind that he has accepted the position of a servant to his devotee. Therefore, when I see this picture, I weep." Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then immediately embraced the Brahman and said, "You have actually read Bhagavad Gita."
Very good.
It is not that a wealth of education is required. One does not even have to understand the language. The only ingredient needed is bhakti, love.
You get the answers now. All will come now. Yes, yes. Continue, continue.
Uh, if one becomes a pure bhakt, He will forget all material sense enjoyment. Being a bhakt doesn't simply mean wearing tilak and robes. One is not a bhakt if he has a taste for material sense enjoyment. A true bhakt wants to satisfy not his senses but the senses of Krishna. That is the spiritual world. In the spiritual world, Vrindavan, everyone, Mother Yashoda, Nand Maharaj, Srimati Radharani, the gopis, the cowherd boys, Sridama, Sudama, the land, the water, the trees, the bird, all are trying to satisfy Krishna. That is the real meaning of Vrindavan. When Krishna left Vrindavan for Mathura, everyone in Vrindavan fell dead out of separation from him. Similarly, we can always live in Vrindavan, in Vaikuntha, if we are mad after Krishna. This is the teaching of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he illustrated this by his very life. When he was in Jagannath Puri, he was always mad after Krishna day and night. The last 12 years of his life were passed in madness. Sometimes he threw himself into the ocean and he wandered about like a madman. Of course, this is not possible for ordinary living entities. However, if we become bhaktas, we will find intelligence behind everything in the creation. If we take a flower and see its constitution, how it is made and how its colors are displayed, and how it comes into existence, we can see Krishna. We can see how Krishna has created such a beautiful thing so intelligently. We should not consider like rascals that such a thing has come into being automatically. Fools cannot see, but those who are intelligent can see that the hand of the Supreme Lord is in everything within creation. Ishavasyam idam sarvam. Actually, nothing comes about automatically. Everything comes about through the intelligence of Krishna, through his fine and accurate powers. If we paint a picture of a flower, we have to arrange many facets, and still the picture will not be absolutely perfect. Yet the flower created by Krishna, yet the flower created by Krishna has come out perfectly. What rascal can say that there is no brain behind it? Krishna specifically says that we should not think that Prakriti, nature, is working automatically. He says, nature is working under my direction. One simply has to develop the eyes to see how these things are going on. This is possible if we engage the senses in the service of Krishna. We first of all must engage the tongue in chanting Hare Krishna and in eating Bhagavad Prasad. Nothing else is required. Therefore, the Krishna consciousness movement is distributing prasad and engaging people in chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra.
It's just how long is it, Krishna? 27. Text 27 is for how long? I think we should wait here now. We're finishing soon, I think. A few minutes. Yeah. It'll take us a few minutes only. Are you able to read, Mother, or we just finish in 5 minutes? Or you're busy now? That's
Um,
okay. If you're busy, that's fine.
Prabhuji, I have to go now. My mom is
Yeah,
calling
no,
me.
that's fine. That's fine. No
I'm
problem.
really sorry. Hare Krishna.
That's okay. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Okay. Just last 5 minutes. Any volunteer who would like to read? Okay, I can read. That's fine. No problem at all. Krishnas, you can read. Yeah, please volunteer read.
Yeah, Krishna. Text 27. Asevayayam prakriter gunanam nanena vairagya vijambitena yogena meya pitaya cha bhaktya mam pratyag atmanam iha varundhe. Translation by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Thus, by not engaging in the service of the modes of material nature, but by developing Krishna consciousness, knowledge and renunciation, and by practicing yoga, in which the mind is always fixed in devotional service unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one achieves my association in this very life for I am the Supreme Personality, the Absolute Truth.
Okay, just once again, read it again. The first point is, thus, by not engaging in the service of the modes of material nature, but by developing Krishna consciousness. First point, yeah. The knowledge in renunciation, we discussed that point also. And by practicing yoga, we're discussing that point too, in which the mind is always fixed in devotional service unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. What happens? One achieves my association in this very life. So here he's saying how we can achieve Krishna's association. For unto Supreme Personality of Godhead, the absolute truth. So he's saying that don't engage in the service of modes of material nature, but engage in Krishna's service. Take knowledge in renunciation. Detachment is needed from material nature. By practicing yoga, bhakti yoga, in which the mind is always fixed in bhakti unto the Supreme Person of Godhead Krishna. One achieves my association, he's saying, in this very life, for unto the Supreme Person of Godhead, the absolute truth. Here's the answer for us all. Thank you. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Please continue. Thank you.
Very well. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Well, first of all, thank you to Divyanshi Mataji and Varun Prabhu for reading. Purport. When one engages in the 9 different processes of Bhakti Yoga, enunciated in authoritative scriptures, such as hearing, shravanam, chanting, kirtanam, remembering, worshipping, praying, and offering personal service, either in one of them, or 2 or 3, or all of them, he naturally has no opportunity to engage in the service of the 3 modes of material nature. Unless one has good engagements in spiritual service, it is not possible to become detached from material service. Those who are not devotees, therefore, are interested in so-called humanitarian or philanthropic work, such as opening a hospital or charitable institution. These are undoubtedly good works in the sense that they are pious activities, and the performer may get some opportunities for sense gratification, either in this life or in the next. Devotional service, however, is beyond the boundary of sense gratification. It is a completely spiritual activity. When one engages in the spiritual activities of devotional service, he does not engage in sense gratificatory activities. Krishna conscious activities are performed not blindly, but with the perfect understanding of knowledge and renunciation. This kind of yoga practice, in which the mind is always fixed upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead in devotion, results in liberation in this very life. The person who performs such acts gets in touch with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Lord Chaitanya, therefore, approved the process of hearing from realized devotees about the pastimes of the Lord. It does not matter to what mundane category the audience belongs. If one meekly and submissively hears about the activities of the Lord from a realized soul, he will be able to conquer the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is unconquerable by any other process. Hearing and associating with devotees are the most important functions for self-realization. In Golok Vrindavan, the living entities are serving Krishna as friends, cowherd boys, gopis, lovers, fathers, mothers, and so on. Even the trees, water, flowers, land, calves, and cows serve Krishna in Golok Vrindavan. This is also our business, but somehow or other we do not like to serve Krishna. Therefore, we have been put into the service of Maya, in the 3 modes of material nature. When a criminal does not like to obey the laws of the state, he is placed into prison and forced to abide by the laws. Our constitutional position is to render service to Krishna as his part and parcel. And as soon as we refuse to render him service, Maya is immediately there to capture us and say, "Serve me." It is not our nature to become master. Even if we become master, we will not be happy, because that is artificial. For instance, if the hand thinks, "Oh, now I have some nice sweets, now I can eat," the hand will ultimately be frustrated. It is the duty and nature of the hand to place the food in the mouth. In this way, the hand is nourished. Otherwise, everything is spoiled. Similarly, we are part and
Wonderful, wonderful point, right? Very nice point. Yes, please continue.
very nice point. In this way, the hand is nourished, otherwise everything is spoiled. Similarly, we are part and parcel of Krishna, and our business is to satisfy Krishna. From the Vedas, we understand that God, it should be God, right? Here. Yeah. God, who is one, has become many. We are the many parts and parcels of Krishna. Swamshas. Swamshas are his personal expansions, and we are his differential expansions. Vibhinnamshas. Vibhinnamshas. In any case, all expansions are meant to serve Krishna. This is explained in the Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila, chapter 5, verse 142. Ekale Ishwar Krishna, Ara Save Bhritya. Ara Save Bhritya. Lord Krishna alone is the supreme controller, and all others are his servants. It is our natural propensity to enjoy ourselves with Krishna. As stated before, Krishna is Anandamaya, and being part and parcel of Krishna, we are also Anandamaya. Now we are seeking Ananda, or bliss, in different atmospheres. Because we have a little independence, we have decided to go to the prison house of material nature and try to serve our senses instead of Krishna. Now we have to learn how to forget to serve this material nature, and that process is Bhakti Marga. Bhakti Marga. The process, Bhakti Marg, the process or the path of devotional service. When we come to the understanding that we are actually no one's servant but Krishna's, we attain self-realization. We must come to this understanding, not by sentiment, but by real knowledge.
We have to, Vyashya Prabhupada says, now we have to learn how to forget to serve material nature. And that process of Bhakti Marg. How wonderful. It's become our nature now to enjoy material nature. We have to learn to forget to serve material nature. Such a hard work we have made ourselves. Yes, please continue. Thank you.
We must come to this understanding not by sentiment, but by real knowledge. After many births and deaths, when one realizes that Vasudevaha Sarvam Iti, which is from Bhagavad Gita chapter 7, verse 19, Vasudeva is all, then he surrenders unto Krishna. This is real knowledge, Gnana and Vairagya, knowledge and detachment from material things. Once one engages fully in Krishna's service, he comes to the Brahmabhuta platform. Presently, we are on the Maya Bhuta platform, identifying ourselves with Maya and working according to the modes of material nature. However, when one comes to the realization that he is spirit, Aham Brahmasmi, he will immediately become happy. Under the modes of material nature, we are being carried away by the waves of material nature, and we have no control over where we are going. Bhaktivinoda Thakur has stated, Mayara Vashe Yacha Bhese. Mayara Vashe Yacha Bhese. Kacha Habu Dubu Bhai. We are like straws on the waves of the ocean, and we are fully under the control of the waves. Atheists shudder when they think that there is a next life, because their lives are sinful and they fear punishment in the next. There is a Bengali proverb about a person who thought, I have committed so many sinful acts that Yamraj will come and punish me. How can I avoid him? Thinking about this some time, he decided, let me spare my body with stool, then Yamraj will not touch me. However, this is simply foolishness. We are under the control of Maya, material nature, and it is not possible to avoid it. We have become infected by the disease of material nature, and no artificial means will save us. There is no way out other than surrender to Krishna. Krishna says that he will save us even though we are very sinful. If we turn our attention to Krishna's service, to Bhakti Yoga, we can force ourselves to give up all anarthas, unwanted things. We should get up early in the morning and engage ourselves in the service of Krishna. Then, gradually, we will forget the service of Maya. Bhakti Yoga is so strong that if we engage in it, Maya's service will automatically be negated. This is called Vairagya. Krishna is the original Purusha, the original spirit, the original person. Everything has come from Krishna, and therefore he is Purana, the oldest. No one is older than Krishna, but he is always young. That is Bhagavan. He is Adi, the original source, the cause of all causes.
Yeah, because Krishna was always 16 years old, now Yavanam, always, when he was still a grandfather. So he's the oldest person, but still he's always young. This is what Prabhupada writes here. Jai, Jai. Wonderful. Prabhupada ki Jai.
Yeah,
Please continue. Thank you.
very well. No one is older than Krishna, but he is always young. That is Bhagavan. He is Adi, the original source, the cause of all causes. Yet we never see Krishna as an old man. He is always fresh and youthful. Although Krishna was a great grandfather at the battlefield at the Battle of Kurukshetra, he did not appear any older than a young man of 20. Krishna is always a young boy, and those living entities in the spiritual universe also have spiritual bodies the same as Krishna's. In the 6th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, we read that when the Vaikuntha Dhutas came to take Ajamil, they were four-handed and very beautiful. In the spiritual world, there are four-handed living entities, and they are called Nitya Mukta. And they are all Nitya Mukta, eternally liberated. Unfortunately, we are now prisoners in this material world, and we presently have material bodies. These bodies are changing. Sometimes they are young and sometimes old. However, if we become Krishna conscious, we will not get another material body after leaving this body. We will go home, back to Godhead, and attain our original spiritual body, which is the same kind of beautiful body that Krishna, Narayan, has. We should take this opportunity to become devotees of Krishna by following the processes of Bhakti Yoga. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnoho, Smaranam, Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, verse 5, chapter 5, verse 23. Pada Sevanam Archanam. We can take one or all of the 9 processes of devotional service and make our lives successful. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has prescribed the most important process, Shravanam. We need only hear, and that will make our lives successful.
Yeah, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. So of this 9 processes of bhakti, 7.5.23, if you read, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, till this stage, only for Bhagavad Gita initiation is needed. Only for Archanam, deity worship, if you want to do. At home it is still fine. But if you have installed deities, you require Pancharadhika Vidhi initiation. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what Prabhupada writes here, we can take one or all of the 9 processes of devotional service and make our lives successful. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, whom we are following, he inaugurated the whole movement, has prescribed the most important process. What is it? Shravanam, first, hearing. For that is Bhagavad Gita, for hearing. We need only hear, and that will make our lives successful. It's very simple. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Wonderful. Okay, now, does anyone have any burning questions, please? What we discussed so far?
Hare Krishna. Sorry. Srila Prabhupada mentions that the Vaikuntha Dhutas are four-handed.
Vaikuntha, yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
In the Vaikuntha planets. So, but in the in Golok Vrindavan, they're not four-handed, right? Like the living entities that live in the...
That's right. But Vishnurutas, they are Vishnurutas. Okay. But it's the same thing. Let's don't differentiate between these two things. Vishnudutas are any devotee when he leaves the body. Ajamil, see, Ajamil was not he was a devotee before. Then he saw prostitutes and he married a prostitute, fell down. He did all wrong things he performed. He forgot about his bhakti. But because he had some sukruti, he made his youngest child, he named the youngest child as Narayan. And he used to steal, borrow money to maintain his big family. He became so fallen. But because he was attached to the child, he used to call Narayan here, Narayan, Narayan come here, Narayan do that. So when he became very old, and Narayan was playing away in front of him, and death came, he called Narayan as his son. So when that happened, Yamdutas came. All living beings, ordinary living beings, when they die, at that time Yamdutas come to kill them, to take them back to Yamaloka and give them punishment. But immediately Vishnudutas came. It's a very nice pastime. We can have a discussion on this too. And they came instantly because Yamdutas were ready for him before that, before dying. They come long before a person dies. But because he uttered the word Narayan, Vishnudutas come immediately. They came, instantly came from the spiritual world. Without, it is said that it did not take any time. And they stopped the Yamdutas. They said, what are you doing? And Yamdutas were astonished to see beautiful figures, very powerful personalities. They said, but he's a demonic person, man. He used to come with us. They say, who's your leader? You see, Yamaraj is not taught you properly here. Yamaraj is not taught you properly. You have no knowledge about Shastra. He is coming with us. He said. So they said, what is this going on? They became very upset. So go and ask your boss. So they went to Yamraj and said, boss, as a show the movie, he said, boss, we're picking up this rascal dying, and some beautiful creatures, personalities came, and they said they didn't allow us to take him. Vishnudutas, they came. So they said they go with him. So what is this? He took the name of Narayan. So that is when he says that is correct, absolutely right. And he said at that time the verse comes, the important verse, that who defines the dharma? Dharma to sakshat bhagavat pranitam. That verse comes at this stage of communication between the Yamadutas and the Yamaraj. Yamaraj instructs this person. You understand this point? So Vishnudutas are for everything, all spiritual and beyond, everything Vaikuntha. Everything else is Yamadutas. Yamadutas are again the living beings, fallen. They also have got their hierarchies. It's very dangerous if I just to hear a description of this. Even living beings, ordinary living beings, when they fall down, when they are into demonic conditions, they become Yamadutas too. Ferocious. That's why people, they don't want to die. When people are dying, sometimes you see them very, very scared. Most of the time, they are very, very scared if they are in their senses. They pass stool, urine, eyes popping up. A very scary personalities. They come with dogs. That's why the dogs are howling when a person is dying, because they come with their dogs. It is mentioned there. Yamdutas come with their dogs. And these dogs can feel it, so they're howling, crying. And what do the dogs come for? The Yamdutas dogs? Which rascal is about to die now? We'll pick him up. When they know the rascal is about to die now, they stand there and all the Yamdutas come. Pick him up. You see? So, as we discussed in the beginners program also, such great opportunity we have received as human form of life and come in touch with this Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. Otherwise, where we would have had the opportunity to read Bhagavatam if it was not readily available like by Prabhupada in mass printing? You tell me. Today it's so easily available and you can read this and understand it and define it. Just hearing this point, only I described a few things only of this. How important is this description? And I took them with him, with the Vishnudutas, Narayan. Just because he said, even if you made by mistake, you did not call Narayan as Narayan. You said the word Narayan is an important potency. It can take you wherever you want to go. Even if you asked for, at the time of death, insincerely you chanted Narayan. You asked for your son's name. Narayan, help me. They said, Narayan took your name, Narayan has come, help me. We are Narayan Dutas. Full stop. How wonderful is this, isn't it? Yeah. So this is, sorry, I gave you a bit more information. Is that okay?
Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you. And also, this also relates to the point like earlier on, where Prabhupada mentioned that, you know, if there's a fall down, a temporary fall down or whatever, not necessarily like adjacent to Ajamil's example, but it's to their permanent credit, right? When they do any form of devotional service. Yeah.
Yes. Even if insincerely you do, unknowingly you've done devotional service, helping somebody, offering prasadam, or do this, you'll get that benefit. So whenever you start again, wherever life you may go down, if very badly, if your life has become very bad, you go down to lower planets. But from there, the chances are there of not going to lower planets. And if you go, bhakti is there. You see. These are the points to be understood. It's a big saving. Otherwise, we are dangerous position. Very dangerous position. So these 2 points about what we discussed in the beginners program about the whole list of 14 planetary systems and this story of Ajamil should really, shake us up completely. Okay, wonderful. Thank you. Anyone else has any questions before we, or anything to share? Okay, wonderful. Thank you very much. So we conclude today's discussions. Jai Shri Gurudev ki Jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Shri Nitai Gaur Chandra Premanande. Hari Hari Bo. Prithviraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai. Chaitanya Charitamrita ki Jai. And all of you should be very, very prosperous and be very educated. Okay, don't think you should not be educated. All of you should be very well top positions in society. You should be, and become devotees. Okay, this is how it is. Okay, Hare Krishna. I think somebody's Zoom account is hacked. We got all different outsiders joining in. Okay, let's conclude this discussion today. Whose turn is to sing Maharaj? Maharaj, please hear us.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. It's my turn, Prabhuji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Very nice to see you. Please start. Please sing with nice actions.
Maharaj, Maharaj, please hear us.
Maharaj, Maharaj, please hear us.
We have learned some real good stuff.
We have learned some real good stuff.
Maharaj, we have learned one thing.
Maharaj, we have learned one thing.
And today for you we will sing.
And today for you we will sing.
If our room is clean,
If our room is clean,
then our mind is clean.
then our mind is clean.
If our mind is clean,
If our mind is clean,
then we can do anything.
we can do anything.
If our room is dirty,
If our room is dirty,
then so are we.
then so are we.
And if we are dirty,
If we are dirty,
we're not happy.
we're not happy.
Wasting time.
Wasting time
is the greatest crime.
is the greatest crime.
Because wasted time.
Because wasted time
means a wasted mind.
means a wasted mind.
So best use your time.
So best use your time
when you're in your prime.
when you are in your prime.
And your whole life.
And your whole life
will be sublime.
will be sublime.
If your wealth is gone.
If your wealth is gone,
then there is nothing wrong.
then there is nothing wrong.
But if your health is gone.
But if your health is gone,
That's a different song.
that's a different song.
If your character stars.
If your character stars,
then the world will cry.
then the world will cry.
Only saintly behavior.
Only saintly behavior
Let humanity thrive.
lets humanity thrive.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
We must always remember Krishna.
We must always remember Krishna
Forget him too.
and never forget him too.
But how are we to practice this with so many things to do?
But how are we to practice this with so many things to do?
That is the greatest question.
That is the greatest question.
And here's the greatest clue.
And here is the greatest clue.
You must learn to act so nicely that Krishna remembers you.
You must learn to work so nicely that Krishna remembers you.
So listen very closely.
So listen very closely
And make your thinking sharp.
and make your thinking sharp.
Let's learn how we can live and work so Krishna won't depart.
Let's learn how we can live and work so Krishna won't depart.
Something's due tomorrow.
If something's due tomorrow,
Finish it today.
finish it today.
Whatever's due today.
Whatever's due today,
Do it now, don't delay.
do it now, don't
Your
delay.
friends might be lazy.
Your friends might be lazy
Or doing bad things.
or doing bad things. But you think again.
But you think again.
Don't follow them.
Don't follow them.
And you will win them. Whatever work we're given.
Whatever work we're given.
We do our very best.
We do our very best.
We only live with what we need and give Krishna the rest.
We only live with what we need and give Krishna the rest.
This is that to live, to work and to play. You learn to live this way, you'll see Krishna every day.
This is how to live, to work and to play. You learn to live this way, you'll see Krishna every day.
He'll pick us up above. We sing and dance with him with a heart full of love.
When our time is up, he'll take us up above. We sing and dance with him with a heart full of love.
To chant Krishna's name, his glories and his name. The only way this world will ever become sin.
So chant Krishna's name, his glories and his fame is the only way this world will ever become sane.
Now please ask this greatest question.
Now please ask this greatest question.
And find this greatest clue.
And find this greatest clue.
You can only remember Krishna.
You can only remember Krishna.
If Krishna remembers you.
If Krishna remembers you.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
जय गणेश श्री महाविष्णु गोसाई महाराज श्री गुरुदेव की जय। जगत गुरु श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। श्री निताई गौर चंद्र प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। नमो विष्णु गोदाय कृष्ण गोसाई भूतले श्रीमती महाविष्णु गोस्वामी के नामिने। नमो विष्णु गोदाय कृष्ण गोसाई भूतले श्री भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी के नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रसाद निर्विशेष सुंदरी प्रसाद। So Krishna willing, we'll see you next week, same place, same time. Till then, chant Hare Krishna and be happy. Someone's account has been hacked. Okay, be very careful. Do not accept any friend request. We can see a lot of people from Zoom who came. So I'm switching off the app right now. Okay, be very careful. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Ram. Hare Ram.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Ram. Hare Ram.
Hare Krishna, Guruji. Thank you.